Dakota land where the skies are wide and the freedom stands. With a Bible in my hand and a prayer in my heart, living this life where the wild plays its part. Dust on my boots and my hat pulled low, got my trusty rifle and I'm ready to go. Hunting the game as the sun hits the sky in the heart of the 701. I feel so alive. Guns and the 701, that's how we roll. Faith in the good Lord, that's how we hold the line of the legacy that runs through our veins in this wild, wild land where the spirit remains. We're living free, living bold, side by side, with God on our plate and our hearts open wide. Ranching the fields, the cattle run free with a purpose so strong, it's our grand legacy. The rivers run deep as we cast out our lines, fishing the waters where the North Star shines. Got the warmth of the sun with the chill of the night. With every shot fired, we're ready to fight for the freedom we cherish. The second is true. With family beside us, we stand through and through. Guns and the 701, that's how we roll. Faith in the good Lord, that's how we hold the line of the legacy that runs through our veins in this wild, wild land where the spirit remains. We're living free, living bold, side by side, with God on our plate and our hearts open wide. In a world that's spinning with sins that they wield, we stick to our values. Our fate is revealed with the word as our guide. We tread on the earth, a community built from the love, not the curse. Raising our voices, singing loud through the night, for God and our freedom, we'll continue the fight. Let the rifles ring out, let the spirits align. In North Dakota's embrace, our souls intertwine. So when you hear the gunshots and feel that proud sound, know it's faith and freedom that echoes around. From the fields of the ranch to the depths of the lake, with God on our side, there's nothing at stake. Guns and the 71 forever will stand in the heart of our faith in this great free
All righty. Good evening, everybody, fellow MVEs. Hey, Dennis. Hey there, One Shot. Lynette. Good to see you on here. Tom, my good friend Tom Donaldson. Hey, I think you know him too, Alex, don't you?
I do. He's a good friend and a hard worker.
Yes, Tom's a great guy. Hey, Brian, good to see you this evening, and everybody else that's joining us. Numbers just keep rolling up here on the ticker, which is great. Head over if you're over there on X. X has been giving us issues. You know, I think they want more money and they want you to up your services, which I'm not going to do. So if you want to listen to us on X, fly over there and do it. Things are coming in, but I am not going to do that. You know what? Either broadcast something cool if they want to or not. I don't care. So anyway, hey, Kelly, good to see you. Kelly is actually a good friend of mine. He lives over there in Valley City as well. So we're in that area. But, well, I'll tell you what, Alex, what I do every single show anymore is I start it with two things, a prayer And of course, I share the Second Amendment. Would you like the honor of reading, or you probably know it by heart, but I'll put it up here, our Second Amendment tonight? Or did I catch you off guard?
I will do that, yes. No, I got you. The Second Amendment, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the to bear arms shall not be infringed.
Oh, amen to that. I tell you, and I would hope everybody by now can see the importance of the Second Amendment here in the last few years. I'm telling you. Hey, Dan, good to have you on here as well. You probably know Dan too, huh? But I want to remind everybody tonight that if you have any questions for Alex, of course, Alex is running for U.S. Congress for the lone North Dakota seat. And we've had Alex on here before, but we've also got the state convention coming up. But before we get started with that, everybody just join me in a prayer tonight. I feel that this is very important, and I've been doing it pretty much every show. Lord, thank you for such a beautiful day today and a beautiful week and everything you have blessed us with. Nothing is ours. It is all yours. And we have nothing without you and your love and your mercy, your grace. As we are the sinners of the world, it starts back with Adam and Eve. We are condemned to nothing but your punishment and death, really. But we have the supreme sacrifice, the gift you gave us all when you sent Jesus Christ to walk as man among us, live that perfect life, and pay for our sins on the cross. And we could be redeemed. Through him, through his blood, through his body, we can find that redemption. We can find forgiveness if we have faith and believe and repent. And we can join you in the kingdom above that we all want to see the glory of. In your name we pray, Lord. Amen. All right. So, everybody, again, I want to welcome. I think Alex froze up on us. Are we there, Alex? Can you hear us? Are we there? I think we lost Alex. Oh, there we go. Can you hear us?
Yep, I lost you.
Okay, you were all froze up on our end. So, anyway, I love starting that out every single. While he's doing what he's doing, I love starting out with the word every single show, and I hope everybody else joins us in that because it's so important. And with Easter coming up and the story of the Passion, I'm telling you, there is nothing grander than what has happened for all of us if we just accept it. So I like to pass that on to everybody and let you know that as Vance does every single Sunday, you can get a hold of any one of us here on Guns and 701 Network. If you're looking to find Christ, if you want to find that word and that peace, let us know. guns@guns701.com. Oh, do we have you, Alex? So I'm just going to run over a few things here. It looks like Alex having a little problem. Alex, if you can hear me, we might have to go ahead and make you or have you come on maybe with your phone or a different device because it's not looking good right now. So in fact, I lost him completely here. I can see that he's not even in here anymore. So I'm going to have to remove. Oh, just a second. He's trying to log back in. Little technical difficulty here, it looks like. So, yeah. Give me a minute here, everybody. I'll tell you what. I'm going to go. Stay with me. I'm going to go to a very, very quick ad so that we can try to get him back on here with us, and maybe I can hop on the phone with him and see if I can't bring him back online with us.
LAUER Auto Repair, located at 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Give them a call at 701-258-6308.
The team of mechanics at LAUER Auto can take care of any problem your vehicle is having. And when you do business with LAUER, you can be assured you're doing business with a pro Second Amendment America First repair shop. There are plenty of other auto repair shops in the Bismarck-Mandan area. But why take a chance at patronizing a shop that might not have your beliefs at heart? Make no mistake. break. Lauer Auto is your pro Second Amendment repair shop. When you talk to the guys at Lauer Auto, don't forget to tell them that you heard they are a sponsor of Guns and the 701 and that you appreciate their support of our pro Second Amendment, pro North Dakota live stream and podcast. That's Lauer Auto Repair, 701-258-6308. 701-258-6308. Located 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
When you want it done right,
go where lemons go.
Kalon's Auto Service, owned and operated by Kalon and Misty Foss, lifelong locals with over 25 years experience. From modern rides to classic restorations, they can handle it all. Top quality work, fair price, and honest hometown values. Located just 1 block south of Highway 12 on 6th Avenue West in Lemmon. Kalon's Auto Service, serving you with all your auto repair needs.
All right, we are back. Alex, do we have you on either one of these?
I think I do now. 1 second. I think
You're
I'm.
not on Wi-Fi.
Nope.
You should do so.
Hold on a second. I'm coming up. Can you text him here? Text him. Right there. I got my tech person here working with me. Hang on a second.
There you go. There you go.
Can they hear you?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yes, I can hear
Okay,
you.
1 second. I think we're almost there. I got it.
We just don't have video, but we can make this work if we need to.
USB video.
Oh,
It's
I see
one.
the circle of death, as I like to keep.
That's exactly right. I switched over to my wife's better computer since she's
Okay.
much better than I am at this, and it should be more clear. Why do we always have trouble? Maybe we're so far north that there's some kind of barrier. I'm not even sure.
I don't know. I mean, I'm pretty good on my end. I know my internet connections are good here. So
We're supposed to have 5G on this line out here, so maybe I need to talk to my guys.
well, a lot of time it has to do with devices, Alex. They can't. Some of these devices can't push the power that I know Restream that we broadcast in anyway.
Well, you guys broadcast, yeah.
And
Well,
it takes a pretty good. Usually, tablets don't work well, nor do phones unless they're pretty new. So, but tell you what, we got your voice,
Yeah,
so
let's get talking, sure.
we can sure go move forward here. One thing I wanted to visit with you about tonight. Let's just start off with the convention because it's coming up this weekend, if I'm correct, right?
Yeah.
And that's in Minot, March 28th, 29th, this weekend. I know that you're going to be there, right?
Yep, I'll be there full force. Cindy will be there with me. We got our team together. We got a lot of help, and we're going to be putting on a good convention.
So I got a question. The way it looked, and you can elaborate on this because I think it's horrible what's happening, but it sounds like to me that a lot of what I like to call, and I can call them what I want, the establishment candidates aren't attending, and that includes for U.S. Congress, right?
Yep. So, I'll tell everybody, I would have bet that they were going to show up at the last minute. I didn't see them all boycotting it, all stepping out of it, because I think that's a real mistake. But they have stepped down in mass. They're not going to show up at the convention. And they've decided that they're just going to run to the primary and not listen to the delegates, not listen to those people that were chosen to represent them there,
Yeah, and that's a shame, honestly. Hey, Doug, he says he's trying to comment from X. We got it. I see it come in. Anyway, I think this is a shame. I think I know what's happening. And I guess I kind of seen it probably coming. I think Matthew Simon is probably one of the best GOP chairmen we've seen, at least since I've been involved with the politics up here in North Dakota. I don't know if you've met Matthew. I'm sure you have, but I like Matthew. And I think this is a lot of when they threw Perry out because Perry was worthless as far as I was concerned. This is their way of saying, nope, this guy, he's dividing us and it's been taken over. And all the same things Trump really seen and heard when he started up, as far as I'm concerned. I guess, what's your opinion on that?
Yeah, I went the minute Matt got elected to the position. I went down and saw him last year because I wanted to know more about him. I'd met him once before. Matt is not the person that they describe him as when you hear I don't know how to say this, if it's establishment or whatever you want to call it. They describe him as being too far right or whatever else. Matt is actually very organized. He's a hard worker. He presents things really well, and he really worked hard to put these conventions together. And I've seen him in a number of places around the state, talking with people and putting out good information, getting people together and getting representation. I think it's a mischaracterization to say that it's somehow a radical right or something. He's just not that guy.
Well, I couldn't agree more. I've known that for some time. In fact, attended the convention with him. Stayed at his place, actually, because, like I said, I've known him for quite a while, and we had a great convention that year. And I don't know what you'd call it either. I think that Matt is a down-to-earth, intelligent guy. He tells it how it is. He doesn't play their games, nor does he want to, and I love that about Matt. He's just a real grassroots guy, and that's probably what bugs a bunch of them the most. And to see that these candidates, even I'm friends with Governor Kelly, but I thought it was in bad taste that Kelly did not want to even meet Matt. We tried, Jamie and I actually tried to get him to come together with us, and we'll go out to a private range, and have some shooting and just do a good old guys, day of having fun on the range and talking. And he wouldn't even entertain that. And I think it's a shame when you see sitting office holders, people who are running again for re-elections, and they won't attend their party state convention. I have an issue with that. I really do, Alex.
Yeah, so do I. And I think there's some things that got said during this time. Like I listened to some of the news that came out, and they said, nobody coordinated with Kelly, and he had this wedding, and they didn't pick dates right. But the reality is, I was in quite a few of these meetings, and the representatives from a number of offices, to include Julie's and Kelly's, just didn't show up at the meetings, didn't want to discuss things. Nope. I think that they kind of set aside, I don't know if they wanted a Mother May. I really don't know, because I'm not a political person, but they certainly didn't deserve that. They were coordinated with. The other piece of it is that I think if you went to that extreme and you were inviting him out, first of all, I would miss a shooting day.
That's right.
That's the first thing. And then the fact that you extended the hand, he really should have taken that. And I really believe that from day one, when he got upset about what they said about his veto, he should have taken it as a governor or as a person should, and say, okay, that's fine, but now we're going to go forward and work together, because that's the way you do it.
Yes, and you're right. To me, if I put it to you this way, if I was a sitting governor of the state of North Dakota myself, and I had an issue, say, with our North Dakota chairman, I would still put that olive branch out there to talk and see where is common ground at between us, and where are the things that we're not going to agree on. Work on the things you agree on, and then you get, set that agenda. And if that's the way of the party and what the party's wishes are, and you agree with it, go with it, right? Yeah. And then from there, you work on the other issues. You may not ever find an answer to something, but you might find out that you might agree on something else other than what you already had talked about, that you knew you were going to be in agreement. And I don't know, to me, the polarization of that, it doesn't help anybody, doesn't help the party. I do think it's a signal as to what a lot of us have been saying, and kind of why I kind of stepped out of that for a while. Yep. Is that the Republican Party of North Dakota is not a conservative party. They are a Republican Party full of Democrats. And that's just a plain and simple truth. I know, like, Leon has made that point. I've made that point before, and I've personally seen it. So I think that might be the bigger problem here.
Yeah, I think I have to agree that if they got back to their conservative values, if they followed the platform, we'd have a lot of things in common to talk about. Yep. But they've decided to make this a big separating issue. And I don't know that the people, how can I explain this? So we have a bunch of people politicians who are incumbents sitting out the convention. I get it that they're deciding to take their ball and go home. They're trying to create a narrative. But I don't know that all of the people that lined up behind them before are still lining up behind them, because I certainly would think that they're not too proud of what's happened. And I can't believe if you voted for those people in the past, you're proud of them sitting at home. And you certainly can't be proud of them on some of their statements. Kelly's was one thing, but Julie's vote to conceal information on sexual harassment was just a bad vote.
That was a horrible vote, and here's what's sad. It didn't surprise me. I got to tell you a background about Julie, and she don't even remember it because I've called her out on a couple times on it now. So when I was with District 31 and sat on the executive committee there, and she came to talk to us, that was she was running then for the first time after being appointed from somebody. I forget who had stepped out, and I think they took a different position. So she got appointed. And I was trying to get some questions in, but I wasn't able to get the ones I wanted from the floor. So I went and had a conversation with her afterwards. My first question to her was, so where do you stand on the Second Amendment?
Okay.
You know what her answer was to me, Alex? Just take a guess.
I got to believe she supported it, but you're going to surprise me. I know.
Yeah, her answer was not yes or no. Her answer was, what's that got to do with the Public Utilities Commission?
Are you kidding me?
I am not kidding you. I go,
oh my gosh.
It has everything to do with it because it tells me where your ideology is and how you stand on things. Plain and simple.
Yeah, that's a super weak answer. But that's the thing about, I got to tell you, the more I learned, the more I traveled around, the more I figured out I wasn't a politician. When I figured out that they weren't answering the questions and I was, and it wasn't normal for them. And I don't look, I think they're missing a big opportunity. When do you get 800 or 1,000 people more sitting in one place together and you get to talk to them all and make your case? And they get a captive audience. They can grab that mic. They can go in there. I'm surprised. I would just show up.
Yeah. Yeah. It's pretty simple, isn't it? Why wouldn't you want to show up? Yeah. I mean, you have the North Dakota State GOP convention of all the delegates. You're voting delegates from every single district that's sending delegates.
Yep.
And the idea of this is to pick your candidates as a party. Yes, you can have a primary. And you got to remember, Alex, I come from a state that all we had was primaries. We didn't have this endorsing thing. This is a unique thing to me.
Right.
That it's even different than what you see in Iowa when I was down in there working, where you saw the caucusing. Completely different, but in a way the same as far as the idea of it, because that's where things are decided rather than in a straight primary. Now, South Dakota, where I really cut my teeth, it's a straight primary. You had your state conventions, you set your platform, but really it had nothing to do with electing your candidates. But here's what all these states have that North Dakota does not. They have voter registration, where
That's
you
right.
go in and you register as a Republican or a Democrat or an independent, whatever it may be. And when you walk into that voting booth on primary day and you say, oh, my name is Clayton Peterson, they look it up. Oh, you're a Republican. You are only handed the Republican ballot. Or if you're a Democrat, you get a Democrat ballot.
That's
or
right.
if where up here, you get a ballot with all three on. And everybody keeps telling me, well, registration don't work and people are going to vote crossing over. That's happening anyway. You just can't vote. If you pick the vote in the Democrat slot, then you got to vote there up and down all the way.
Yeah.
I would love to see voter registration. And I know that it seems like it's gaining more popularity, especially from a campaign stance, Alex. I worked on some bigger campaigns in South Dakota. And the first thing I'd go to when I'd go to a county I was working in is ask for the registration list, because then I knew where my base of Republicans were.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I take Drew Wrigley to task at this. Drew Wrigley came out with a statement and said the only real nomination process or endorsing process is the primary. And I disagree with that, because it's not that is exactly the opposite, because anybody can vote then, independents, Democrats, whatever. So they're claiming now that the primary is the way forward to really get representation, but that's not it. So you've taken what I saw from people was people that really worked hard. They went out and got delegates together. They were active. They organized. They did all this great work, and they built this convention, and they're coming. And then the other candidates are just dismissing them out of hand, saying that's not important. That doesn't matter anymore. We're only going to go to the primary. It's really a bigger insult to the voters, in my opinion, than it is even to me. I get it. They're insulting me because they don't think I'm worth coming to convention with, but it's a big insult to North Dakota voters.
It is. I think it is. It's an insult to the voters. It's an insult to the actual Republicans in the state. You got to remember, I don't know how many members they have in the NDGOP this time around, but the last time that I was involved, we had 1,200 and some people at that convention, right? And that is not representative of how many people call themselves Republicans in the state.
No, exactly right. Yeah.
I mean,
and we had over 1,200, and we got the endorsement last time. We probably would have had a better vote, even the third vote, if they'd let it go to that. I think that, and this time I hope we'll get that endorsement. It's just a matter of, it's amazing to me that they're not just dismissing the convention; they're dismissing every single meeting I went to, or everyone went to, I should say, and all the time they put in. We drove to Hettinger. They had 113 people there, and it was cold. It was not a good day, and they dismiss all that energy, all that participation. That's the thing that matters,
But you know what? It's not uncommon, I found, when I got up here. And I'm not knocking North Dakota. I love living up here, even though I grew up in South Dakota, but just across the border. So, I mean, I've been affiliated with both states my entire life. But I'm telling you, when I got up here and got involved in North Dakota's politics, I always used to say, man, the corruption I see when I go to Pierre in South Dakota just amazes me. But I'll tell you what it is down there. You have a voter registration, and you have a majority Republicans. Most of them are conservative. And you can see that by the votes that happened in South Dakota. And then you've got your 40-some% Democrats that sit on the other side. It's probably a truer representation than what we see right here. And then I get up here and I'm like, whoa, I couldn't believe the things I was seeing. And I always tell everybody, South Dakota had their issues. But I got up here in North Dakota and said, hey, hold my beer. I'll show you how she's done.
Yeah, there you go.
And I just couldn't believe the things I've seen. And how few groups or how few people were picking really the candidates that you'd see show up on your ballot for your district legislative spots. I like what Leon and these guys have been talking, Leon and Dan on here. And Leon says, he goes, the big thing is that we all got informed, we got active, and now we're a problem.
Yeah, exactly. So, hey, can I comment on that? Because what I understand is over the years when it was majority of, I'm going to call it establishment, even though that's just a term, that was the majority of some of these conventions and meetings and stuff. And the conservative hardcore following the platform was smaller. Mm-hmm. They were happy with going to those meetings. But now that there's a little tiny majority in conservatives going to those meetings, all of a sudden they don't want to play anymore. And they're upset about that. But we had to sit through all those years of being in the minority. And now it's not that way. We still could be talking, but they just decided to go home and not play,
They absolutely. And then started changing rules. So I'm in District 31 over here.
Okay.
And as you know, that was Perry Schaefer's baby. And I don't worry about it. You don't have to comment about what you think of him. I think he's a POS myself, but and he knows it. But I mean, I watched this guy operate. What a snake. And he wanted more participation. But he didn't want anybody to say anything. He didn't want your input. He didn't care. He just wanted the numbers. And then as soon as we took over that district, but we had a bad winter storm go through, so we were a few votes short of wiping it and taking it over completely. But we come close. But it was enough that they couldn't pass anything bylaw way. Before that, they changed the bylaws to the fact you had to notify the chairman of your committee then in your district. I think it was 30 days out if you were going to run for a legislative seat. You couldn't just do it.
You're in the middle.
Well, the thing there was that our chairman at that time, then after we defeated some people, became Don Scheibler, who was also a legislative senator. Wow, if that ain't a conflict of interest. I mean, he knew right away who he was up against. Right away, he could campaign behind the scenes 30 days prior before anybody else because he knew who was running.
Yeah.
That's just one example. I watched how they operated. We filled the North Dakota GOP building with our people because we held a meeting there for our district. They were not happy, and I'm sure they knew I was the guy that let everybody in the district that we had an email for that this meeting was happening because they didn't really, they did the very minimum requirement to let people know.
Yeah, that's true. I got to say, I saw a couple of comments. I just got to let you know, I think that the movement, I got to call it a movement or a rallying cry. We are much bigger than they think. I think that the grassroots movement, the people we've been talking to, it's really a majority vote. I know that the, how can I say this? I mean, it's not the other side. It's whatever you want to call it. What do we call them? The establishment, I guess.
Well, I got a different name for them, but I try not to say them kind of words anymore. So.
Okay.
I mean, for the lack of they are kind of rhinos. They're Republicans in name only. It's a good fitting term, I think. But They are definitely not constitutionalists, and they are not conservatives. They are
Yeah.
Republicans only.
Yeah, I would agree. And I think that we're a bigger force than they think. I've been all around the state talking to people, and I really believe that if the grassroots votes, if the regular working people go vote, and not this mythical whatever it is, they get people that are stepping back from not coming to the convention, we can win it. I think this is a unique opportunity.
I would have to agree, Alex. I mean, I'm pretty sure. I mean, let's face it. We've seen Julie's votes. If they're on anything that's controversial or might step on the toes of her donors, she really dances around it, and in the end, she does not vote for we the people. She votes for those people.
She skipped the vote. She skipped the DEI vote. She skipped the other votes, and I just think that they're not. I can't sit here in North Dakota and watch her not do her job. Just do what she's told, and keep.
Well, and hey, I'm going to interrupt you here quickly because I'm going to read you this comment because I think that's where you're going with it. Leon says you ran for this seat in 2024, received the North Dakota Republican Party endorsement. That's a very true statement at the state convention. Now you're beating her. Remember that?
Yeah.
Now you're challenging the incumbent again, who happens to be her. What drove you to step up once more? And what message are you hearing from North Dakotans that tells you it's time for new leadership? That's why I wanted to read that, because you were going there. So I'll just let you finish that now.
Yeah. Well, one of the big things is everyone talked to me about that she wasn't showing up, that she held a few telephone, and I got a few notes to get on the phone with her, but she wouldn't show up for town halls. And all the time she had off, she wouldn't come back and meet with people. And they kept saying, people want face-to-face meetings. Well, I believe in face-to-face meetings. If you've been in any of my meetings, people ask me to leave usually because I'm staying so late. So, but I think that's where we get the meat of our discussions from, whether we just agree or disagree, we figure things out. So she missed that. And I think she missed it because she chose to miss it. She said one time, incumbents don't go, I'm not quoting her exactly, but incumbents don't go into meetings and stuff because it's too divisive and they don't need to. It's not too divisive. I've been in hard conversations. It's exactly where we should be.
Well, not just that, Alex. She is a representative, the only one from North Dakota for we the people of North Dakota in our U.S. Congress. I don't care how uncomfortable she is. I don't care, as long as the people are respectful. You face them people. You take those questions. And I would much rather, and I've heard you say things just like this, where I don't know, but I'll find out because you didn't know,
Yeah.
And I'm no different. If I don't know, I'll tell the person, listen, I really don't know. I mean, there's not a lot of things I'm probably not up to date on, but if I truly don't know, don't snowball me. Don't treat me stupid. Just say, I honestly don't know. I can respect that answer more than any of them.
Yeah. That's the other issue about this is that, there's a number of times that I've been in meetings and they've said, she didn't show up. So let's just be honest. She showed up one time during the district meetings that I was at. I think I made 41 out of the 47 other people spoke then.
Good job.
And then she read a letter. I mean, look, I got to tell you, if you're a sitting congresswoman or congressman, you don't think I'm going to take the mic and just talk with people or listen to them, just ask questions, because they're going to tell me what they're feeling. And maybe they're upset about something I should have done differently, or I should know about that I don't know about. So why am I going to be afraid of that hard conversation?
I don't know. I really don't know why anybody would be afraid of a question coming from the people they want to represent.
Yeah.
I mean, and I think it ain't just her, Alex. That's why I really liked you when we first started talking, right? Because you were not an elitist. You were not, I don't know, you didn't portray yourself as a dishonest person. And you'd answer the questions. We've had you on here before. Jamie and I had you on here before. You answered the questions as honest as you could. And I mean, you're pretty up to date on stuff, so I don't really have an issue with that. I love your foreign policy. I know how you stand on the Second Amendment. I know you're a man of faith. And those are three of my priorities.
Well, I appreciate that. Well, it's pretty easy to stand on those. I told somebody a while back, I was doing an interview, and this guy kind of had to do what his sponsors wanted. And I said, you got a really tough job. My job's really easy. I get to travel around the state and talk to people and be myself. Yeah, and that's the easiest part.
Well, and that's, I have sponsors too here on the show, right? But when we went around looking for sponsors when we started this, we asked, of course, friends, but we also asked people that had a like mind with us so that we didn't have to worry about this. I don't know if I could take, in fact, I know I wouldn't take a sponsor for this show if I thought they had the complete opposite ideology as me. And every time I said something, they'd be threatening to take their money away because I'd be like, then leave.
Yeah, go. Exactly.
Go. It's just that way. So Lynette, she says, talking about Julie, she never showed up for anything, not a radio show, podcast, anything. And that's very true. Lynette, I sent her, I wanted, if she would come on here, I'd have her on here. I don't think she would like my questioning because I'm going to bring up her record, which isn't very stellar. And I didn't even get an answer back. Yeah.
You're not the only one. I've been at a number of radio stations that have said, we'll do your interview, but we also have to put up like a picture and a recording from Julie because it's equal time. And I said, that's fine. Why don't we just invite her out and we'll sit down and talk and answer questions? Well, that never happened. She's never coming. Well, we got everybody on. We should talk about Rob Port a little bit because it's so interesting. I got to tell you.
Well, Leon said she went on Port's podcast, and I think old Porkman also had Governor. I think Governor Kelly Armstrong was on his podcast too.
So Port is kind of like I want to say I think he might be a fan of me. I'm not really sure. It's crazy because he will call me at the weirdest time, and he'll say, "Hey, I saw this thing you posted. Do you really believe this?" And usually I'm walking like between buildings with the dog or something.
So we're going to play one of them too, but
yeah, I'll be like, "Rob, what do you need?" And he'll be, well, you're going to talk to me because most people won't. But the thing about Rob is that he never wins the discussion, and he puts my news out. So I'm like, you're actually working for us. You know that, Rob. I mean, and then he introduces Julie, or he talks to her, and she says some statement that is completely off. And I'm like, you know what? He's not hurting us at all. I really got to believe that,
No, the old saying, there's no bad press. I don't know if I completely believe that, but press is press. Yeah. Jamie says, to be fair, she goes on with Michael Bell and Scott Hennon on a regular basis. Well, and she does. And
well, can we talk about that for a minute? Are we allowed to talk about that?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I've been on I tried to do once a month with Michael, and I wasn't able to do it this month. And I'm working with Samantha to try and make that happen. And maybe next week we'll see. But you got to go to those places. And even if you might have a difference of opinion, and like me and Michael, we don't agree on everything. Yeah, but we're good friends, and that's okay. Well, that's how it should be.
Yeah, I feel like Michael and I are good friends too. We were and talked a whole bunch. I kind of haven't been on his show since November or so. Samantha's great too, because the sponsors won't have me on, and I understand that he can't put me back on. But the problem is that at some point I'll get some fair press down there again. I don't know who else he's talking about international positions or anything foreign policy. Somebody. I do talk with Scott with Steve Hallstrom down in the Flag. He's great. He gets me on. Scott will not have me on yet. At some point, I'm sure he will. Maybe after I get the endorsement. Yeah. But they've got their game and they got to support their people. But I just think that they ought to talk to all of us,
Well, you'd think they'd want to. Like I said, I don't have anybody on here. I've invited several people that I have called out on the rug because I'm not afraid. I'm kind of like you, Alex. I have a certain way I believe, and I don't apologize for it.
Yeah,
and that's why it's easy for me to do this. Because this is what I believe. I don't have to worry about what I'm thinking,
I agree. Somebody once told me about a month ago, they said, you need to write down these points because you don't want to deviate when you're talking to somebody. I said, I don't need to write them down because they're my points. I mean, I'm not going to change when I go from day to day. I think it does amaze me that the energy folks who back Julie do not want to have conversations with me when there's probably, I get it that she was PSC, but you're probably not going to find a more pro-energy person. I mean, I was the only one in the last campaign that said build another coal plant. Right. And they were all like, oh, we can't do that. I'm like, yo, we're America. We can do whatever we need to do,
Absolutely. China's building coal plants faster than they can really do. I mean, they're just pushing them through because they know the importance of energy. And I guarantee you that we here build them better, more efficient, cleaner than anybody on this planet. But yet we've got a certain group that says, oh, no, No, of course, I don't believe in global warming. I don't believe in they rename it. It was global cooling, then global warming.
Yeah, I know.
Now it's climate change. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't believe in man-made anything that way. There's only one person that changes our weather, and
that's exactly right. Above. That's exactly right. Well, we got climate changes coming in about a month. It's going to be called spring.
That's right.
And,
we have
and we're going to need a couple things in the state that they don't want to talk about. We're going to need another coal plant. We're going to need a fertilizer plant, and we probably need a processing plant. It's time to, yes, I get it. They're going to talk about advanced computing sites and data centers all day long on water, but then they can't tell me we don't have enough water to run a fertilizer plant or come on, really?
I know, that's just it. And data centers, that's a whole other thing. We can get maybe into that on a different show, maybe after you win the endorsement, because that could be a show by itself. But I'm telling you, I can't believe that the energy companies are backing her. But yeah, you're about as pro coal, oil, and gas that a person can be.
My truck has a powered by coal sticker on it. I mean, I don't know what to say other than that.
That's right. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'll tell you what, let's hold this thought. We'll come back here. I think we'll go to a couple other things here and maybe cover some of these comments right before that.
Sounds
I'm going to
good.
take a quick break. And speaking of sponsors, we got to pay our bills too. So we're going to take a break. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere, everybody. We are here with Alex Balez, U.S. Congressman candidate for the state of North Dakota.
LAUER Auto Repair, located at 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Give them a call at 701-258-6308.
The team of mechanics at LAUER Auto can take care of any problem your vehicle is having. And when you do business with LAUER, you can be assured you're doing business with a pro Second Amendment America First repair shop. There are plenty of other auto repair shops in the Bismarck-Mandan area. But why take a chance at patronizing a shop that might not have your beliefs at heart? Make no mistake. LAUER Auto is your pro Second Amendment repair shop. When you talk to the guys at LAUER Auto, don't forget to tell them that you heard they are a sponsor of Guns and the 701 and that you appreciate their support of our pro Second Amendment, pro North Dakota live stream and podcast. That's LAUER Auto Repair, 701-258-6308.
701-258-6308.
Located 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
When you want it done right,
Go where lemons go.
Kalon's Auto Service, owned and operated by Kalon and Misty Foss, lifelong locals with over 25 years experience. From modern rides to classic restorations, they can handle it all. Top quality work, fair price, and honest hometown values. Located just one block south of Highway 12 on 6th Avenue West in Lemmon. Kalon's Auto Service, serving you with all your auto repair needs.
For the best gun gear for every and any situation, Little Angry Man Arms LLC has you covered. Top-notch guns from top-name brands like Winchester, Glock, Sig Sauer, and Ruger to essential extras from Magpul's, Streamlight, Hollow, Sun Optics, and more. Little Angry Man Arms LLC have everything to make your shooting adventures a success. Visit littleangrymanarms.com today and gear up for your next big hunt, competition, or home defense. Don't miss out on our exclusive deals. Little Angry Man Arms LLC, based in Trail City, South Dakota, your ultimate hunting partner.
At Horton LaserCraft, we believe in the power of personalization. Whether it's a cherished memory, a special occasion, or a unique gift, our custom laser engraving brings your vision to life. Our expert craftsmen and state-of-the-art technology ensure every piece is a work of art. From personalized decor to one-of-a-kind keepsakes, Horton LaserCraft makes every moment unforgettable. Horton LaserCraft is owned and operated by a local veteran and his wife located near Thunderhawk, South Dakota. They provide custom laser products at a reasonable price, and their turnaround time is fast and efficient.
Custom board cutting, glassware, decanter sets, mugs, assorted stainless steel jewelry, assorted tags, decor, custom acrylic nightlights, and much, much more.
Call them up at 605-545-7535. Horton LaserCraft, where memories are engraved.
All right, we are back again. My guest tonight is Alex Balez. He's running for the United States Congress seat right here in North Dakota. And we've been having a great conversation about, well, we got the state convention coming up here. A lot of the people have said, nope, we're not going to it. And, it's just not the right thing to do. But Amarja Crump, she has shared something here. She says, they heard trafficking victims were coming with their security and have proof of the buyers in North Dakota corruption. But the regular folks that want these labor or others trafficking to stop, they will vote out everyone involved. Well, that's very true. Tired of the Holmberg syndrome, that's the only the tip of the iceberg that everyone in Bismarck was well aware of. God, guns, and good old glory will prevail. Amen. And that's just it, Alex. I guess I like to discuss these things. We got to pay attention to issues, right? But God is completely in control, and I do believe that, and I do trust that. Although I'm still going to do my best to make sure that we don't make it easy for them.
Yeah, exactly. I think that this whole thing has gotten to the point where we have to stand up. I mean, look, this is a hard thing to do. We're going to go to the convention really shortly, and then we got a 60-day run to the primary, and we've got to make sure people keep tracking, and they stay with us and get all the way there to vote, right?
Yeah, that's not a long time frame, is it?
No, it's not. But if we get out there and people are harvesting and planting and whatever else, and I think we're doing good, we're going to need every single person out there to get out and vote. I don't even know if everybody knows, like, are they going to go and vote in person? Are they going to do paper ballots? How are they planning on doing it? Because we need that active right now. People thinking about that. Yeah,
absolutely. And it is the most important thing we can do. And until laws change permanently, we got to beat the system we're in, right? I guess that's the best way the system we have is what we have till it changes. So you got to go out there and play whatever that system is and do it. Vote, 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 vote. It's that simple.
Yeah. This is going to be, I feel like, I was talking to the night to some folks, and I feel like what the people who are stepping out of the convention going to the primary is, they feel like they're playing a game. And I think they kind of feel like they put us in check. And what I mean by that is all of us, all of the grassroots, all the people out there, the working folk. So because if we don't handle the convention and vote and endorse, and then go to the primary and vote and win for some of our representatives and senators and this position, the congressional position, they'll win it. They'll be able to say, hey, it didn't matter to show up. That's how important it is. It's amazing they threw down this gauntlet, but I think we're up to the task.
I do too. So, I point out some things here. Like, I thought Leon had a great comment here. He goes, border security and putting America first are central to your campaign. Why do you believe these issues matter so much to North Dakotans, and how would you push for stronger policies in Washington? What do you think Republicans can do better regarding what I see as a failed immigration policy? H-1B visas, finding the millions that let in under the last administration and deporting them. Thoughts on anchor baby industry? Well, there's a lot of questions there, but yeah, I guess why don't you take the first one too here? Why do you believe that these issues matter so much to North Dakotans?
Well, the number one thing is we have to write a law that closes the borders and codifies these executive orders that President Trump put out. I love them. That's great, but that's not the end of it. And the first thing that Julie should have done, if she had the backbone, put a single issue law down that says this is the law here going forward. As far as anchor babies, let's discuss this. That's really an abuse of the law. It's never been that way, and that law is not read that way at all. And they've turned it into that, pretending that they can come over here, drop a baby, and then they have a citizen, and they're going to stay with them. And
we were debating this when I was in high school.
Yeah,
they were pushing that, and luckily I had a teacher that said, "No, that ain't how it is," and he's right.
Yeah, if we read it strictly, and how it's supposed to be read, and follow the Constitution, they just go home. And here I would say this to everybody too: don't falter now on sending the illegals home. They're going home. They'll either self-deport or we'll arrest them and go home. Maybe we need to put a time limit on it and say, hey, past this date, you're all felons. We're going to arrest you all and send you home. It's worth every single penny it is to send them home as compared to letting them live off our society illegally. 100%. And I've heard a lot of talk on this, but they're wrong.
Yeah. And then except we're not going to call them felons. They already are felons because they broke the law. But let's enforce the felony, the punishment, which is to leave. I have no issue deporting them, and I have no issue with the money that we can spend. And I can find the money if we need to find more. I'll tap any welfare program. We'll have enough money.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're paying them. Take the money we're paying them in welfare. That'll be enough to deport them right out of this country.
Yep. And just keep doing it. So,
Absolutely.
it is not something that's going to happen overnight, but that's okay because we're going to keep cleaning out this bar until we get all the pests out of it. And that's what you got to do.
Yep.
Look, you can't say we're going to deal with this later, because what they did is they flooded the zone with all these people so they could get the vote. Well, we caught them. Okay. And we're in the process of breaking the back of this, but we got to stick with it.
Absolutely. Yeah. Stay the course on this. And I honestly, no matter what anybody says, as far as how this polls with not just North Dakotans, but United States citizens, they're in support of this with President Trump. I haven't seen anything falter, unless you're watching Trump loves to call fake news. I agree. They pretty much say they are not news. They are completely the DNC news wings is what they are.
What it is. Absolutely.
But people are 100% against it. I don't see people out there saying, gosh, I just wish we'd just keep these people in our country. I haven't met one yet.
No, this is it's a false sympathy, and they're only doing it for political expediency so that they can get the vote later on. They don't care about these people, and they won't care about them past them getting to and voting illegally when they can, every time they get a chance to. So if we strip these people out, we do a number of things for America, but we have to codify it. It's got to be passed. And I want a legislator, I want a representative who writes those bills right now, not when the winds blow and it's nice to write those bills.
Right. And that's I've seen Jamie mention that, she's voted 98% of the time with Trump's agenda. I'd have to go look at her Republican or at her voting and see if that's what it is. But she doesn't make the first step. She doesn't bring it to the floor. She don't really do anything. The only thing she'll put her name to or write a bill is if it's something that's really kind of soft and squishy.
Well, let's talk about those two things. So let's say that you voted on things that are important for lower taxes and the rest of the stuff, and you're supporting Trump. I get it. And you're making the Republican conservative agenda work in Washington, and maybe that's a good thing for energy. However, let's look at just a couple things. Number one, missing votes. Missed the DEI vote, okay?
Yep.
Also voted against exposing or revealing the sexual predation. Then voted to take trust lands and do that bill, which is going to take public lands. Those things alone, yes, I know maybe that Burgum wanted them or somebody wanted them back there, but those are not good for North Dakota. That's just simply not good.
Well, I agree. They really are not. This idea of taking trust lands, which let's really break it down, especially the school lands. School lands, where there's every single township in the state of North Dakota, South Dakota, same way, has a section of land for the school districts.
That's right. Yep.
And the idea was they were supposed to help. They were supposed to fund them, really. But those we won't even go down the rabbit hole tonight about the waste in public education. But that was the idea behind it. Sometimes they were sold off. Sometimes they were traded out. But to give them to reservations, within those boundaries, no, I'm not for that.
Nope.
And I kind of was combing through what they wrote in there. It almost looks like that, I have 2 pieces that I rent 2 quarters of school land. And it's not cheap, everybody, like you think. Right. They're at the rate or above as far as that goes.
Yep.
But, like I said, it fits in nice to my place, so I'm going to continue to rent them. But, when I read that, they could take the minerals under that land.
Yeah.
And there's nothing I could do about it. And where them 2 pieces are located, we're going to we might play Cowboys and Indians here again. But anyway, because I live in the heart of the res.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you right now, it looks like to me that I could actually end up then paying them rent, and that's not happening. I do not fall under the jurisdiction of a tribal government.
That is right.
I'm not a tribal member. I'm a United States citizen and a resident of North Dakota, and I am not playing that game. This is a horrible bill. Horrible bill.
Yeah, you hit it exactly right on just one of the many reasons why it's bad. The other reason is that they touted all these things it's going to do. It's going to help us produce energy. It's going to release minerals and all the rest of this stuff. The reality is most of those things are already under lease or already contracted for. So you're not going to gain that. This is the land. Look, this should be called the land grab bill by big money, because once they get a hold of it, we're never going to see it again. And at public land, every time public land gets sold, you never see it again.
And let's not forget about this. If you put anything under the tribal jurisdiction in the tribal trust, it then becomes federal land.
Yes.
I am not for federal ownership of land, and I don't know how you feel about that, but I am not. Never have been. I don't. It's only written in the Constitution for certain things, but we are not supposed to own these vast pieces of land under the federal government. That's a whole nother issue, but
Yeah.
that's what would happen with this. Plus, it's going to come off your tax base. At least in North Dakota, you're seeing some kind of return for it.
That's right.
That money
Yep.
goes to the tribe. It is history.
Yeah, exactly. And somebody's going to make profit on it. It's not going to be you and me or the normal farmer or worker.
No, yeah, it's going to make it worse for everybody. And then I don't know if anyone knows how it works when you rent tribal land. So let's say school lands, and I use that, and it can be any trust land within the North Dakota Trusts, or well, anywhere, any state, right? It's going to fall under them. They're going to own it because that's what they're doing.
Yep.
Now, and this is how it works when we go to rent these tribal lands around here. If you're a tribal member, you get what they call, and this is not my term, their term, Indian preference.
Mm-hmm.
So if they put in there, you're out. If you've been renting that land and doesn't matter, they put
That's
in,
right.
they want it, they get it.
That's exactly right.
Is not how this is supposed to work. It was never Indian land. It's been North Dakota trust land. It was created under the trust lands laws to support the school districts. And don't give me this crap that the reservation we stole your land. Kiss my butt, man. I'm not afraid to say it. We won. You lost. Was it right? No. Were things not done correctly? They weren't. But it doesn't matter. That's over. And I'm not even going to go down the history when they were offered money and they turned it away for several different pieces to basically make reconciliation. It's all bunk. The treaties that they keep talking about, they made their settlements on them, and they don't want to tell people that.
Many times they made multiple settlements on it.
Yes.
Many areas they were paid multiple times for it. So, that's a whole separate argument.
That's a whole other thing.
but I agree with you on that when somebody cherry picks this and puts this law forward, which I think is a terrible law, and puts it forward while we're in the middle of a conflict, when everybody's looking the other way and there's tons of things going on, and tries to push it through, we're not going to pay attention to it. It's a bad deal. It's just a bad deal all around.
Absolutely. So let's get to some of these comments. I'm sorry, everybody. I've been kind of me and Alex can probably do 3 hours pretty easy. But, all right, so I'm going to just jump up here. Dan Hager says, I have a question. Can the people at the convention change the rules to make it so that only Republicans that attend the convention run with the R name? Good question. I don't know. I find it interesting in this state, Alex, that the North Dakota legislature has so much power over the party, and they actually make century code that dictates rules and procedures within the party, because you don't have that in South Dakota.
Yep. I do know some people talked about that, that if you didn't go to the convention and you weren't part of it, whatever else, then you wouldn't be able to run under the Republic. So it'd basically be a nomination from the convention. And I don't think we got any traction on that this time around, but it was discussed a lot. That's probably a good policy, actually.
Well, Doug commenting, I think it's time for actual conservative representation in North Dakota in the Senate. Very much agree with you, but I don't think there's a Senate race this year. So Tom Donaldson says, good question. You should contact Matt Simon and ask him the question. I don't think it's as simple as it could be. Just kind of rolling through these. I know Alex isn't running for the Senate. I'm just not a fan of the other two right now. He's referring to Hoven and Kramer.
Well, I got to say this. I said to a bunch of people, think about this real hard when people are out there and they vote Julie in for a second term, and then she steps into Hoven's seat or whatever, because that's the next one up. And then she's going to negotiate some international treaties for you.
Oh,
my lab is asleep here on the rug, and I'd rather have him do it. So that's the bottom line.
I agree with you. She should never have the power to negotiate a treaty on behalf of the United States or vote on it.
Yeah. You had a great question in fiscal policy, and I think the debt is a real key issue. I think there's three things that bring this down if we do it right. One is you got to get back to single issue bills, because it gets rid of the bloat and you can actually read them. The second is you got to do a zero-based budget review, and you got to balance the budget every single time. And then you have to be willing to stand on it. You got to come back here. Even if you're only one vote, you get to stand on it and say, I'm only going to do this. I'm not going to go beyond that. So pass what you got to pass for the 12 required lines, do it early on, and then come back to the people and say, oh yeah, we forgot to build a submarine. Do you want to do it? Look, people aren't stupid. They're going to do the right thing in America, but you've got to balance it to start with.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we need to get a budget. We got to quit doing continuing resolutions.
They should have it on the table around July. Federal workers have to have their budgets into their bosses by July.
Yep. Yeah, I got a good buddy he's the head of the Bureau of Rec out there in that Montana, Wyoming, Idaho area. Yeah, he gets frustrated, and I understand it completely. So, let's see. James says Hovind and Kramer support Trump north of 90%. They aren't getting beat. North Dakota isn't going to vote in some cornball like Thomas Massey is what he had a different term for him. But
There you go.
and I see that Leon brings up the national debt, fiscal discipline, and of course North Dakota farmers and families and communities. And I can tell you right now, as a guy in ag, and I'm sure I'm a minority in this, I do not support the farm bill. I do not support farm subsidies. I take none of them. I won't take none of them. Although I will tell everybody that most of the farm bill is 95% other things that have nothing to do with farming.
Other than farming. Yeah, right.
A lot of it's part of the food stamp program, or what I call it,
Sure.
SNAP now, and all the other programs they've piled into that. And they did that because the farm bill's that third rail that you never want to touch. But I can tell you right now, if you're dependent, as far as I'm concerned, I'm 51 years old, but if you are dependent solely on farm payments to make sure that you stay in business, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. I do it, I make it, and I take nothing from them.
Yeah, there you go. Well, you brought up an important thing about this. I think if one time you just put it on the floor, separate SNAP from ag, put it over in Health and Human Services.
Yep.
Now they say, well, you can't pass an ag bill or farm bill without SNAP. 10 years from now, they'll be saying, hey, you can't pass a Health and Human Services bill without SNAP. So it's not untouchable.
Yeah, they could do it. They could do it if they have the fortitude to do it. But I can guarantee you, I bet you money, Julie will never touch that bill.
Write it as a single issue. Put it on the floor and get kicked around for it. At least you've done it. Right?
Yeah, I guess, like I said, I'd rather hear you don't know when I ask you a question. I'd rather see you take a vote based on constitutionality and what the people elected you to do. Even if you get defeated, I get so sick and tired of hearing, and this ain't just at Congress, see it in the legislature. I see it at county meetings. Well, I'm not going to bring it up because it get defeated. Then let it get it defeated. Who cares?
Right.
Let's put these people on record.
Well, I've said it before. Look, air it out. Go out there on the Capitol steps. So you're going to have no shortage of microphones in your face. Say your piece. I don't know if you've heard Tim Burchett. He's an expert at it. He's back there in the Senate, and he comes out. He talks about it all the time, and he is really moving things.
Yep.
So use that pulpit. I wanted to say I've been talking with folks. I'd like some comments from you guys about this, but about starting a disaster relief savings account so that farmers like Health Savings Account on a good year could put a ton of money away with no tax implications and use it when their bin blows over or whatever else, instead of waiting around for the government to hand out or get around to processing a claim. I think that might save some money or put some money back in people's pockets.
It could. It definitely could. I'm kind of floating through these questions. Leon says, "Was it right?" No, I disagree. I mean, I don't know if he was talking about what happened on the reservations, and and it probably it wasn't right what happened, but it happened, and I really am never going to support. In fact, you want to help the Indian people within the reservations, dissolve them.
Yeah, give them ownership. Give
them ownership. Exactly. Let them become full citizens then of the United States. I don't know if anyone realizes this, but they are still classified under law in our country as wards of the federal government.
Yeah.
Does everybody know that?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're actually classified as second-rate citizens. That's horrible.
Yeah.
But let's dissolve that corrupt government. Let's give them ownership. Let's bring them and welcome them in and watch these areas flourish.
Yeah, they don't own their houses. They don't own the stuff. So why are you going to be proud of it and take care of it?
Yeah, exactly.
If you turned just that around and said, listen, this is going to be yours now, and you take care of it or don't take care of it. And I got to tell you, there's some really great workers there. The guy that did our cement block in our basement to refix one of the walls in our really old house was a guy from the nation. And he was incredibly good. I mean, it was amazing.
They're skilled work. There are very productive people within the reservation, and that's no different than anywhere you go. There's great people everywhere, and there's always those that are going to leech out the system. But it's usually the tribal governments that are the people's worst enemy within the reservation. It's not the people themselves. A lot of great people within the reservation. And like I said, I live here in the heart of Standing Rock. Yeah. So, which, by the way, you and we got to get together and get you down here and go around. So
I want to do that. I got to come down. When you get ready, I'll come down.
And I would say, well, we'll talk afterwards here.
Yeah.
We'll definitely make it happen. It says, Lynette says, I think we all need to vote for Alex and then concentrate on our city commission and county that is trying to sneak in the AI data centers in our state. Well, amen, Lynette. And I think that, I mean, Alex has my vote. By the way, I haven't done it yet, but this is as good a time as any. I am officially right here at Guns in the 701 Network. We are officially endorsing Alex Velez for U.S. Congress in North Dakota because I do believe that you are the choice. I know that I'm going to catch grief from people. I don't care.
I appreciate that. Thank you, Clay.
And I mean, I believe in what you say. I know who you are. I've read all of your stuff. We're on the same page probably 99% of the time, Alex.
Well, I appreciate that.
So
I'm working hard at it.
I'm just kind of going through here. Justin, he says, we just need to get rid of eminent domain. Well, eminent domain is actually a constitutional. It's in the Constitution, but if they use it, they got to compensate. And it's only supposed to be used for real public projects. And they have taken that so far. And that was a Supreme Court ruling. I think I got to remember if that was in somewhere out east. Was it New Jersey, where the Supreme Court ruled in favor of taking of the land to put in, it was a mall, I believe, because it was going to generate tax revenue. No, that is not what eminent domain was about.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It was a horrible ruling, and it should be challenged again under the new court. I wish someone would bring that up because I don't think it would go that way. Who's the leftist running for the House? I think it's Hammer, isn't it? In the Democrat, did he get the endorsement?
He's running. Yeah, I saw his billboard up the other day. Yep.
I've heard him speak a little bit. I'm never voting for that guy. I can tell you that. I'm just kind of rolling through these some more here, Alex, for you. Maybe if you see one, we'll definitely pop it up here.
Yeah, somebody wrote there that reservations are just a good example of the government corruption, and the only way to get past that corruption is to get back to being transparent. I can't believe that people are afraid of transparency. They talk about, it could hurt us. Just put it all out there. The American people in North Dakota are smart enough to read through it and make those bills shorter. So, for example, I read the big, beautiful bill. There's some things I don't like in it. I'm being honest with you. It took me about 30 hours to read it, though. You read what Nancy Mace put together for the revealing the information about sexual harassment, and it was a page and a half, and you could read it. That's the difference in getting single issue bills.
Absolutely. The big, I combed through that big, beautiful bill too. And I'm with you, Alex. There were things in there I did not want.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, with politics, we all know, unfortunately, how this works up there. There was a lot of good things that were in it. And unfortunately, the bad things sailed through with the good things. It's not a good system that way. It is a system we have, and I don't know if it had passed without some of the concessions that I know a lot of us didn't want.
Yeah, I don't think that would have passed. I think the political climate, this is a hard thing to say. Trump needed to push these tax cuts through. We needed to put change. We'd gone so far down the wrong road with Biden that they had to get something done. Yes. So there's an argument, a bad one, and it's not good, to be made that they had to get something. And that was this bill where it kind of pushed things together. Single issues, I think, from day one, though, right when they walked in, would have been a better way to tackle it. Just push them right across.
I agree. Do them singly, be done, page and a half. That ain't hard. You can actually go through them, but see, that's the key, or that's what they want.
That's
they
right.
They don't want you reading them. Right. And they want to give you, hey, here's a 1,200-page bill. We're voting on it tomorrow. What?
Yeah. Well, somebody asked me that. They said, would I do that? Would I be forced into voting if I didn't read it? And I want to be honest. If I get elected, I'm just not going to do it. I mean, I'm just going to say no. I'm not going to. And I'll fly back here and get on the news somewhere and be like, hey, listen, they went to vote on this, and they're not going to give us time to read. That's garbage. They need to change.
I agree. I would never. I can tell you right now, I won't vote. If I was in that position, I would not vote for it unless I had time to comb through it. And 24 hours isn't enough. I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a no vote.
Exactly.
And then you know what will happen? Let's say there's something pro Second Amendment in there in a 1,200-page bill and one line that was great for the Second Amendment, but may not have infringed on it. I'm going to vote no on that bill.
Right.
And then I'm going to be called anti-Second Amendment.
Yeah. Which isn't true. That is to put it out for everybody out here, get the information to people and tell them. And every time I've done that and talked to people, they're like, I didn't know that. And then right away you get consensus,
Yep. So Dan asks, he goes, do you think the reservations would ever be in favor of dissolving and becoming a main part of the U.S.? And, you know, I'll go first on this, Dan. I'm not sure. I know some of the people I have visited with within the reservation right here would be for that. They understand the corruption that's happening at their tribal government, within their tribal councils, and it's horrible. It's. I'm not even going to go into this tonight because I could spend 2 hours just on the things I know that happened with this tribal council at Standing Rock, and they're not unique. As far as the people, I think the people, if they got the momentum going, I think you could see it. They'd have to petition for it, but I think it could happen. Where it's going to get bogged down is because it's going to take a congressional act.
Yeah,
Can it even get through Congress? Because you know what's going to happen there. The Democrats are going to say, "Oh my goodness, racism," and you want to. I can't even imagine what they'd say. Honestly, go ahead, Alex.
Yeah. Well, I think for the people that are all tied up in socialism on the reservation, they're going to stay with their ties. They're going to want their payments every month. They're going to want that. Yep. But if you really offered them, because this is a generational thing. If you really offered them to see this, and the next generation said, "Wait a minute, I can own this 5 acres, and I can do this, and I can all that." That's where the change is going to come. You won't get a change from maybe somebody taking a handout right now.
Right, and they don't get deeds like we do.
Nope.
As I've tried to buy a piece up here that's part of my place, and you got to get what they call a patent paper from the tribe.
Yeah.
To even sell it, which I imagine is a federal thing.
I got to believe it. Yeah, exactly right.
And we were kind of walking through the process on that, and we'd gotten an attorney to kind of, and we couldn't even use a regular attorney because they didn't know. I had to find someone who knew tribal law.
Wow.
And to navigate what needed to be done. Now, was it difficult per se in the grand scheme of things? No. Was it a lot more to know and go through? Yes. And when it came down to it, the lady who owned it, she decided that, I imagine when she contacted a tribe, they're like, "No, don't do that. Don't do that. I know they do this."
Sure. Yeah.
And she decided then that she didn't want to sell. And then she turned over the rental agreements to the tribe. Because they offered to take care of them for her.
Okay.
And then my rent went way up.
No.
And then we went back and forth. That's a whole nother story that let's just say that did not go well between me and the tribe on this. Yeah. And it's a mess. It truly is. And I can tell anybody that lives within a reservation, if you are not a tribal member and you have deeded land, they have zero authority over it.
Right.
And I have challenged it. So don't let them make you. They came around and wanted us to buy $100 business license to operate if we had a ranch over 100 acres.
Huh.
Yeah, let's just say that guy left in a hurry because I think he wanted to breathe air. So, yeah.
Yeah. I think there's a big change there coming that way. But, I went up to the reservations to us last year to talk to the folks, and you couldn't talk to the councils. They wouldn't have us in. Yep. And they didn't want to talk. But the rest of the people, I'll be honest, they loved their handouts, but there was one big difference. They were pro-choice. I was pro-life. So we disagreed, but the rest of the stuff, they were Americans, they just wanted socialism.
Yeah, like I said, I do believe that there would be some support for it, but it isn't like you'd bring up the issue for getting rid of the reservation system and bringing them actually into more freedom is what it would be, because
that's right,
under the Constitution. But it's going to be, like you said, this is generational, and there's going to have to be it'd be a 10-year struggle just to even get a chance. It really would.
Yeah. So I agree.
Alex, it's 8:15 my time. I'm going to take a break here, and I know I don't want to go over 2 hours, but all right. We got a lot of time yet to cover things. But let's take a quick break here, and we'll come back and we'll continue this. And anybody else has anything you want to just drop it in the comments. We'll do our best to go ahead and visit about it.
Thanks.
LAUER Auto Repair, located at 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Give them a call at 701-258-6308.
The team of mechanics at Lauer Auto can take care of any problem your vehicle is having. And when you do business with Lauer, you can be assured you're doing business with a pro Second Amendment America First repair shop. There are plenty of other auto repair shops in the Bismarck, Mandan area. But why take a chance at patronizing a shop that might not have your beliefs at heart? Make no mistake. Lauer Auto is your pro Second Amendment repair shop. When you talk to the guys at Lauer Auto, don't forget to tell them that you heard they are a sponsor of Guns and the 701 and that you appreciate their support of our pro Second Amendment, pro North Dakota live stream and podcast. That's Lauer Auto Repair, 701-258-6308.
701-258-6308.
Located 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
When you want it done right,
Go where lemons go.
Kalon's Auto Service, owned and operated by Kalon and Misty Foss, lifelong locals with over 25 years experience. From modern rides to classic restorations, they can handle it all. Top quality work, fair price, and honest hometown values. Located just one block south of Highway 12 on 6th Avenue West in Lemmon. Kalon's Auto Service, serving you with all your auto repair needs.
For the best gun gear for every and any situation, Little Angry Man Arms LLC has you covered. Top-notch guns from top-name brands like Winchester, Glock, Sig Sauer, and Ruger to essential extras from Magpul's, Streamlight, Hollow, Sun Optics, and more. Little Angry Man Arms LLC have everything to make your shooting adventures a success. Visit littleangrymanarms.com today and gear up for your next big hunt, competition, or home defense. Don't miss out on our exclusive deals. Little Angry Man Arms LLC, based in Trail City, South Dakota, your ultimate hunting partner.
At Horton LaserCraft, we believe in the power of personalization. Whether it's a cherished memory, a special occasion, or a unique gift, our custom laser engraving brings your vision to life. Our expert craftsmen and state-of-the-art technology ensure every piece is a work of art. From personalized decor to one-of-a-kind keepsakes, Horton LaserCraft makes every moment unforgettable. Horton LaserCraft is owned and operated by a local veteran and his wife located near Thunderhawk, South Dakota. They provide custom laser products at a reasonable price, and their turnaround time is fast and efficient.
Custom board cutting, glassware, decanter sets, mugs, assorted stainless steel jewelry, assorted tags, decor, custom acrylic nightlights, and much, much more.
Call them up at 605-545-7535. Horton LaserCraft, where memories are engraved.
All right, we are back. So, hey, I'm going to put up a picture. Tom suggested it because we don't have Alex's picture up here, but I can't feed it in, unfortunately. I don't know how to do it if we can. But so that you guys can see who Alex is and what he looks like. There we got your one from your
yeah, that's my better side. You got my good side.
There we go. Yeah, Alex, he's got a great website over there too. It's running on the bottom there. AlexForNorthDakota.com. He is the conservative veteran for Congress. Absolutely, Alex. And if you want to doubt, look at there. There's his experience. He is definitely a veteran. He knows his way around a firearm. He's a 2A guy. I'm telling you guys. Yes. Hey, we had 2 people scan our QR code for subscriptions. Thank you. We appreciate that. I should point that out there. If you guys want to subscribe to the channel, we have that set up there. Just go ahead, scan it. You can pick any level from $5 up to $75 if you want to. So go in there and check that out. Help support the program. All right. And I don't plug that enough, but Leon says, wait a second, I got to go and find that. He already did that one. Blackbeard, there's a party over here. Anyway, yeah. I'm just kind of going through these. Thune, I'm telling you, I hate to even admit that I worked on his campaign when he first ran for Senate. And he was a different man then. He was a great representative for the state of South Dakota. I'm telling you, the Senate changes people, and I don't understand what happens to him. I don't know if it's the power and it just is so attractive. I don't know. I don't understand it, Alex, because I guess I've never been corrupted that way.
Well, yeah, I don't understand what make some change. I will tell you that I think one way not to go down that road is not to run for re-election.
Yeah,
I think you have to go serve and just straight up not run for re-election, because if you're going to go in there and try to get back in office right away from day one, they're going to tell you to do that. You're going to be taking money and trying to do that stuff, and you should be working. So, there was a great question there. What do you do from day one? And I think from day one, there's a couple things that have to happen that support North Dakota. And one is probably going to be some kind of federal legislation, single issue, that says that there's no foreign ownership of land or critical industry, period.
I love that. And by the way, Mexico, you can't, if you're a foreigner, you can't own land in Mexico, just so this ain't new.
Right. Yep, exactly right. And the other piece, when you start down this road and you say, we're not going to do this, we're not going to allow that, you're going to have to stand on it and then say, we need to support our people. So I talk to veterans every day. The second part of this question is great. I talk to veterans who are 50%, 55%, 60% disabled, and they're waiting 2-3 years for a hearing or 2-3 years for an adjudication. Now, whether the VA respectfully is waiting for them to die or just waiting not to pay them, the first thing I would do is just transition everybody on that disabled list to 100%. Let me tell you what's going to happen, guys. You're going to raise somebody's pay from like $1,000 to $1,500 or $1,500 to $2,000, and those vets are going to take that money and put it right back in. But you're also going to stop the backlog in the VA and start serving people. So I just feel like it's got to stop. You've got to stop the madness somewhere and stop telling people here's a line, a number to wait in line, and a granola bar, and we'll talk to you whenever we get around to it. Yeah,
it's ridiculous. You guys as veterans, you signed a blank check payable with your life without any questions.
Yep.
And just did it. And if we can't take care of our veterans, shame on the United States. And I do feel that. And maybe I'm biased because I mean, my family's been, I think this was the last conflict I guess we had in would have been the first Iraq war. And then no one's been in since in our family. But up till that point, someone in our family served in the military in every single war since World War I. So, I have a special place in my heart for veterans. There's no doubt about that. So he goes, just wondering, Brian says, just wondering what percentage of taxes goes to the shutdown parts of the government, trying to figure out how much I need to withhold from my payment next month. I love it. That's a whole nother subject. Says here, I guarantee one thing, Julie can't beat Alex's elk summer sausage on her best day. The man has that stuff absolutely dialed in. That's from Jamie. Awesome.
I gotta bring you some out when I see you, Clay.
Oh, awesome. I'd be perfect. Tell you what, we'll do a trade. I'll send you some homegrown beef and you can bring me some sausage.
Okay. Yeah, good deal.
We got if you're a rancher, you probably should have a freezer full of beef. If you don't, I don't know why. It says, if elected, what's the first thing you'd fight for on behalf of North Dakotans, and how would you measure success in your first term? We'll go with that question first.
Yeah, I'd go back to that. A single issue bill saying no ownership of foreign land, no foreign ownership of land or interest. And I'll tell you, or ag land especially. Not because I want to step into states' rights, but because I want to lay a framework down so when the states have to fight, they can turn around and say, hey, there's a federal law. You can't even own this. And not only that, we're taking it back. Like, look at Sarah Huckabee, what she's doing. She's taking back land and she's made it illegal. So I'd like to see that happen, because before we lose any more, and then if you want to buy it for somebody else, if you want to do a proxy for somebody in China or whatever, you're going to have to register as a foreign agent or as an agent of a foreign government to sell that, to buy the land. So we know what you're doing with it before you hide it from it.
Oh, so, absolutely. I support that 100%, Alex. Yeah.
And I got to tell you, success is going to be measured on how much you push forward. Because I don't know if all this will make it through. They might just beat me down. But you know what? Those topics have to come up, and you got to get them out there for people to talk about.
Well, just bringing them up. Like I said, bring them up, put them out there, and let people take a stand and be on record. That's the problem. These people they want to hide behind, it got stuck in committee, or we couldn't pass it, so we never brought it. BS. You have a job to do. You get paid, honestly, quite well when you think about what everybody else gets paid for their jobs. Do your job. It isn't like you. How do you put it? Anyone who runs, you've run a couple times. We did it on our own accord.
Yep.
And we knew what we were getting into. So now, if you get elected, go do your job. And that should be for everybody that gets a position when they're elected. It's just that simple to me.
It's exactly right. He asked a minute ago, he said, am I left eye, right eye dominant? I'm right eye dominant, left-handed, so I shoot with both left and right hands. It really helps if you're exiting a vehicle to be able to shoot with your right or left hand. And then this is a great comment here about getting paid. Congress, look, boy, I heard this so much. Congress should not get paid if nobody else is getting paid. That's the bottom line.
Yep.
If you can't get it through, regardless if it's the left, the left's holding it up, but you just take that money, you don't take it because your job's not getting done. So take it, put it somewhere, give it to the vets, donate it. I don't care what you do, even if a check comes through, but you shouldn't be taking that money and getting paid.
I agree. If you're not doing your job, I don't know. If I don't do my job, I'm not going to get paid, and I'm self-employed. But that means if I don't do my job, that means I don't have nothing to sell. I calves, whatever it might be. I will go broke. I'm not going to get paid.
Yeah.
Let's see. Congress should be the last ones to get paid. Yep, Axel just he had that in there.
Yeah.
They shine and get nothing done. Leon says, "What's the thought of synthetic foods, meats, dairy, produced canned food, etc.?" That comes from David.
Yeah, I'm not a. I don't know about those non-food groups, so I don't actually eat non-food groups. I want to be honest, I do have some canned food here at the house because we're a little bit far from town, like canned meat and some other canned vegetables, a lot of stuff in stock because you never know when you get into town, North Dakota. But not the non-food stuff like the fake cheese, fake non-milk. I don't even know what that is. What is non-dairy anyway,
It's not dairy. See, I've always thought, and I know that some states have done it, but there should be no such thing as calling something meat that isn't meat or eggs that isn't eggs. It's chemicals. You take the powdered eggs. Most of the time, they're not even powdered anymore. They're just they're chemical. Look at the back of them boxes. It's horrible.
I know. Yeah.
If it isn't what it is when it comes to meat, poultry, beef, any kind of meat, eggs, dairy, if it didn't come from the animal, then it's not that.
Well, and it's so much cheaper to eat that way if you just prepare a little bit and cook that way. And also it's much better for the kids to get this garbage out of their diets.
Absolutely.
So if you just take a minute and get it out of there, it's so much better for them.
Absolutely. And, I know there was a bill on top of the no foreign ownership of land, which I support. I seen that there's a bill. It won't go anywhere, but I'm glad they're having the discussion. It was introduced. And that's so that if you were not native born to this country, meaning born here, and you are an actual natural born citizen, you can't run for Congress. And I like that one too. I know I've caught some slack from people I didn't think of, but I told them, I said, well, look what's happening. We've got a Congress that's got way too many foreigners that have become citizens that now sit there and they don't have a clue what our Constitution's about because they didn't grow up with it.
Yep, that's right.
They don't understand the power in that document for us.
Yeah.
It's a document that tells the government what you cannot do to the people, not the other way around.
Yeah.
Justin mentions like almond milk. Show me a nipple on an almond. Exactly.
I have never figured that out.
Yeah. You shouldn't be able to use that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dan Hager. Thanks, Doug. Followed you there. Okay. They're having. So, yeah, we had a lot of chat discussion tonight. So,
yeah.
I guess overall, I'm going to try to wrap this up because I just found out I got a cow calving. So,
all right. Well, congratulations then.
Yeah, that'll be our fifth one today. So,
wow.
Things are rolling along pretty good. But what do you want to convey to everybody before we leave tonight and let them know? And you got as much time as you need, Alex.
Well, first of all, I got to tell everybody that I'm super honored by everybody who came out to those meetings and talked and spent time and just really dug into issues because it means something. It means a ton. I had a ton of fun, over 10,000 miles since January 19th, talking to folks, and we'll keep doing it because that's the litmus test, coming back and talking, representing. And I want to say, I met a ton of leaders, okay? If your citizen leaders need a citizen servant or a representative, that's what you need to elect. And then not run for a re-election, go back there and serve. Maybe I don't get it all right. Maybe they beat the heck out of me and I don't win. But you know what? We break the template. We change it. So we start changing it now. So it's not always going to be the same way. Because right now I'm fed up with it. And I'm not getting the answers I want.
Absolutely. Yeah. Awesome. And I think that's how a lot of people feel here, Alex. So, Alex, tell you what, I want to thank you for coming on tonight. And when you win the endorsement, because I know you're going to,
Thanks,
we
Clay.
definitely got to have you on again. But here's what I'm going to throw this out here. We need to have a time where you and me and Jamie and Axe all get together. We'll get David. He's up there in Mandan as well, because David's got a new show here, 701 Marksman. And then we need to all get together, just go out and do a little shooting, have a little fun, and who knows? Maybe we turn it into a little event to meet the people too. Who knows?
I like that idea. Tell you what, I'm going to bring down some of mine. I'm going to bring down some heavy stuff, and I'll bring down the SR-25 so we can all shoot a little bit, because I've been wanting to get on that one with you guys, and we'll have some fun.
Because I'm sure Axe is up for this, because Axe has a nice range outside of Mandan, in between New Salem and Mandan, so it's a perfect meeting spot for all of us.
All right, I'll bring you around.
Leon, yeah, Leon, you got it. I didn't mention Leon, so I'm just going to plug this right away too. So we have great shows coming up tomorrow. I will be on KFY hour 5:50 a.m. with Todd Mitchell in the morning, 7:15 a.m., 8:15 in the Central Time Zone, with some great topics. Second Amendment. We'll really hammer some of the Second Amendment. Can you believe this, everybody? Illinois now they want to increase the fees for anybody that has a FOID card. It's just crazy, insane stuff. We'll talk a little bit about that. Of course, it's a crazy state. Friday night, Leon Francis with Blackbeard Logic. I'm telling you, you don't want to miss that. I know we made some clips here to put them out, and people love those on all of our platforms. So playing around with some of the new features of Restream. So check that out. He comes on air at 5 p.m. Mountain, 6 p.m. Central. Sunday, 7 o'clock in the morning, 8 o'clock in the Central Time Zone. You have Vance Bishop. He joins you with the Sportsman Sunday devotion. He has a great devotion, and then gets into hunting and fishing. And then, of course, my new announcement is starting April 7th, I'm going to be moving to Tuesday nights. I've gotten involved with a youth group here with the church, and that happens to be on Wednesday nights. And I've been doing it here all through Lent, because we've been going to services on Wednesday night and then doing the youth group. And I moved things to Thursday, but I'm going to move it to Tuesday. I talked to Jamie. Jamie's going to, I believe, take the Wednesday spot then with 701 Nation. Like I said, we're still great friends, everybody. So happy we could do that. So starting April 7th, and I'll be plugging this till then, I'll be coming on Tuesday nights at 7 p.m. Mountain Standard, 8 in the Central. So that's our kind of our lineup. And then David Fetting has 701 Marksman. You want to check that out. There'll be announcements when he comes on. He's going to try to do this at least once a month, maybe a little more. He had a great first episode, and you're going to want to tune in and check all them out. Hit gunsandthe701.com, gunsandthe701.com, and you can find everything about us. Hit that subscribe button. We got a little merchandise there. We keep growing, so I appreciate it. And Alex, again, thank you for coming on.
Thanks, Clay.
I want to have you on again, and we definitely need to get together, go out here and meet a few people, and then of course we need to get together and do a little shooting. I just think it'd be a great time. And
thanks for those messages, Clay. I really think I have to say you've been sending me some good messages. I appreciate that, and everything only with and through God. Without that, we're not going to make it. Yeah, absolutely. And I started after Charlie Kirk got killed, and I heard that he got murdered. It wasn't killed; he was murdered. And I heard he did a Sunday devotion, or not Sunday, just a devotion every day that he sent to a group of people. So I started doing that. Well, that's growing. And, Tom actually said, you should add Alex to that. I was like, why didn't I think of that before? So you're added to the list now, Alex. It's great. It really is great. Thank you.
I enjoy doing that every morning. And I send out to over 100 people now, all of their own requests, mostly.
That's cool. So,
all right, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Thanks to all our great sponsors, especially Lauer Auto Repair. I'm telling you, 309 South Washington, 701-258-6308. You ain't going to find a more pro Second Amendment repair shop in Bismarck, North Dakota. Again, thank you, everybody, for joining us. I thought it was a great show. Thanks to Alex. And we'll see everybody tomorrow morning, KFYR 5:50 a.m., 99.7 on the FM dial, with Mitchell in the morning for another great episode of Guns and the 701 on KFYR 5:50. Again, thanks a lot. God's blessings to each and every one of you. Go forth with God. See everybody next week.
Have a great day.